You're about to see the future of SUVs before they hit American roads. And what was just revealed at the Brussels Motor Show is something most people weren't expecting. Automakers didn't just bring refresh models or minor updates this year. They came with a statement. A clear message that 2026 is going to be a turning point for how SUVs look, feel, and perform. For a few moments, forget everything you think you know about family SUVs, electric crossovers, and off-road machines, because what's coming next changes the conversation entirely. Before we go any further, if you enjoy staying ahead of the curve and understanding what's coming before everyone else does, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. It helps this channel reach more people who want real insight, not hype. Now let's get into it. Walking through the Brussels Motor Show this year felt different. There was a sense that manufacturers weren't just competing with each other anymore. They were competing with the future itself. Design language is sharper. Interiors feel more like high-end lounges and vehicles. And technology has moved from being a feature to being a foundation. One of the first things that stood out was how confident these brands looked. This wasn't experimentation. This was execution. These SUVs weren't concepts meant to tease. They were near production models, clearly aimed at global markets, including the United States. What makes this lineup so important is balance. Automakers are no longer choosing between performance and efficiency, or between luxury and practicality. They're blending everything together. Hybrid systems feel seamless. Electric SUVs don't look like science projects anymore. And even traditional gas-powered models feel smarter and cleaner. The first SUV that really grabbed attention set the tone for everything that followed. It combined a bold exterior with a cabin that felt intentionally calm. Large screens were present, but they didn't dominate. Physical controls still existed where they mattered. This wasn't about showing off technology. It was about using it properly. Manufacturers clearly understand that American buyers want technology, but they also want comfort and familiarity. That message came through loud and clear. Materials felt durable, but premium. Seats were designed for long drives, not just showroom appeal. Another major theme was space. Third rows are no longer afterthoughts. Cargo areas are more flexible. Flat floors, smarter storage, and adjustable seating layouts were everywhere. These SUVs are built for real families, real road trips, and real daily use. Electrification was impossible to ignore. Nearly every brand showcased at least one SUV with some form of electric assistance. But what was interesting is how understated it felt. No one was shouting about range numbers or charging times. Instead, the focus was on smoothness, quietness, and ease of ownership. That tells you something important. Electric and hybrid powertrains are no longer the headline. They're becoming the standard. One SUV in particular demonstrated how far electric design has come. From the outside, it looked muscular and confident, not fragile or futuristic in an awkward way. Inside, the cabin was silent, spacious, and minimal without feeling empty. This is a kind of vehicle that can win over buyers who were previously skeptical about EVs. Off-road capability also made a strong comeback. Several SUVs showcase advanced terrain management systems, adaptive suspensions, and reinforced underbodies. But again, it wasn't presented as extreme or intimidating. The message was simple. These vehicles can handle more than you think, without sacrificing comfort. Safety technology was woven into every model, not as a selling point, but as an expectation. Advanced driver assistance systems were standard or easily accessible. Cameras, sensors, and intelligent braking systems were integrated so smoothly that they didn't feel intrusive. What's especially interesting for American audiences is how global these SUVs feel. They're designed to work in Europe, Asia, and North America without compromise. That means they're built to handle different roads, regulations, and driving habits. It also means better engineering overall. One manufacturer clearly focused on luxury buyers, but without the usual excess. Instead of flashy details, the cabin focused on quietness, soft-touch surfaces, and subtle lighting. It felt mature, confident, and intentionally restrained. Another brand went in the opposite direction, leaning into bold styling and aggressive lines. This SUV wasn't shy. It wanted to be noticed, and judging by the crowd around it, that strategy worked. It appealed to buyers who want their vehicle to say something before they even step out. What connects all these models is intention. Nothing felt accidental. Every design choice, every feature, every material had a reason behind it. That's a big shift from previous years where innovation sometimes felt forced. For anyone planning to buy an SUV in the next couple of years, this matters. Because the vehicles revealed here aren't just better than what's currently on the road. They redefine expectations. Features that once belonged to luxury segments are now moving into mainstream models. Another important detail is efficiency. Even larger SUVs showed impressive gains in fuel economy or energy usage. Weight reduction, improved aerodynamics, and smarter power management systems are clearly paying off. The Brussels Motor Show made one thing very clear. 2026 SUVs are not about extremes. They're about refinement. They're about making every part of the driving experience smoother, quieter, and more intuitive. And this is just the beginning. Because as impressive as these first reveals were, the next wave takes things even further. The upcoming SUVs didn't just evolve existing ideas. They challenged assumptions. They questioned what an SUV should look like, how it should drive, and who it's really for. If you think you've already seen the most exciting reveals, stay with me. Because what comes next shifts the conversation from impressive to genuinely surprising. Because what comes next isn't just about design or performance anymore. It's about how these SUVs fit into everyday life in ways people weren't fully prepared for. As you move deeper into the Brussels Motor Show, it became clear that manufacturers are no longer designing vehicles only for drivers. They're designing for passengers, families, lifestyles, and even moods. One of the next SUVs revealed focus heavily on personalization. The idea wasn't just choosing a trim level, but shaping the experience itself. Adjustable ambient lighting that subtly changes based on driving mode, seat memory profiles that adapt not only position but firmness and temperature, and infotainment systems that learn habits over time. This SUV felt less like a machine and more like a living space on wheels. What really stood out was how intuitive everything felt. Instead of overwhelming drivers with menus and options, the interface guided you naturally. Buttons were placed where your hands instinctively reached. Screens responded instantly without distraction. This is a kind of refinement that comes from years of listening to real user feedback. Another SUV took a different approach, leaning heavily into versatility. This one felt built for people who don't want to choose between city comfort and weekend adventure. The suspension automatically adjusted ride height, depending on terrain. Cargo space could be reconfigured in seconds.